today we have a good friend of ours, Trey. Why don't you go ahead, introduce yourself, let us know why you're here.
Yeah, my name is Trey. My real name is James, actually, but I go by Trey. Most of my friends call me Trey. And my artist name is IndyKid. I've been making music for about 3.5 years now. I would say mainly the last 6 months to the last year is when I actually started to, like, I don't know, just like fully dive into it and really start to like work on my sound. And just, I feel like the last few months is when I've actually fully centered in on it.
Okay. Would you say found your sound?
Yeah, definitely. Because when I first started, it was kind of like, I mean, I have all sorts of different inspirations for music, but it was mainly at first just more like boom bappy rap type stuff. And a lot of my old songs, like, they have their place, you know, like I can hear like the potential starting to build up, but like I feel like over the last few months my style has definitely changed a little bit.
When you say boom bap, are you talking like kind of like that old school like drum snare normal?
Yeah, I used to use like J Dilla type beats and stuff like that, like that type of like wave, because I don't know, like Logic was one of like the first artists I really got into, and like
all of them right up top left.
Yup. Hey, that's fucking hard. I've never seen that before.
Take a good look while you talk. Like,
I've seen a bunch of cool shit.
The sauce, though.
He could. So you said Logic was a good inspiration?
I love Logic.
Yeah, his first like full album, Under Pressure, like that was like,
I was just playing it the other day. I was like, man, for everyone, sorry to interrupt you, but every song like back to back to back, it fucking hits.
Exactly, like that full
pressure.
album, bro. Like it actually
early one too, 2014, I think.
Oh yeah, it was
good year.
I like, you know, it's cool to admit that there's levels to this shit. You know what I mean? Like you have to start off, you know, that's just the very first thing. And even if it's a shallow step, you know, even if it's like a large step, either way, you gotta, you know, start off. And it's cool to see your growth along the way, because that's like the journey. Like, we got to get those XP points. It's just like a video game out here, except this is the real fucking, you know, this is life. So.
And you just said it out loud, admitted it. A lot of people like to, you know, I don't really know. Here, I got an ashtray over here. I'm going to put it a little more over here in the middle. A lot of people want to forget where they came from, or kind of just, you know, act like they just came from, you know, the top, or they didn't go through these certain, you know, scenarios. And, you know, people, they really do. They fucking go through shit, and it sucks, but you have to just, you have to deal with it.
It's growing pains.
Growing pains.
Because, you know, it is.
Just like Logic song, bro. I mean, it's just like a lot of people that make music, honestly, like, it's almost like they're scared to acknowledge like their own like faults, or like, you know, just like, because I have a buddy
insecurities, maybe?
Yeah, and like when you first start recording, especially if you are like, I mean, I wanted to do music my entire life, so I've always wrote, I've always freestyled, done stuff, but like,
yeah,
you know, I have a buddy that like, he's been interested in music forever, but he's never really like been like that, like freestyling all the time or whatever, and like he gets so discouraged, like anytime he tries to hop on the mic,
that self-doubt.
It's like, bro, you want to hear like some of my first songs? Like, I'll quickly make sure to let you know you're not alone, man. Like, but there's nothing wrong with that either. Like, it's just part of, you know, finding your sound.
Transgression.
I always liked writing, and I started sending you guys my shit, because I was never like,
you've been sending us some really good shit,
I never
bro.
thought that.
How do you feel like you started out writing? Like, as in, are you talking about like just you like writing, like in literature anyways? And just
I like
write?
poetry a lot.
bro.
Yeah, like getting stuff to rhyme and mean something.
Yes.
I think it's cool.
So now you're pushing your limits a little bit and trying to form it into this.
I mean, you send us poetry like 100%, because you're not writing it to a beat, right?
I have a beat playing in my head, but it's not along with it. It helps me.
You have a beat playing in your head, as in, well, it keeps your tempo.
Yes,
like in your headphones.
Yes.
Okay, I got you.
It doesn't go along with the beat, but it helps me.
But you're not literally writing.
It keeps my brain going.
You're just keeping that beats per minute. You're keeping that tempo. So Trey, you said your real name's James. What's your last name?
Combs.
Combs or Combs?
Combs, Combs.
Okay.
All right. Hell yeah. So Indy, like I've stated in a couple of previous episodes, and like everyone knows, Independent 47 is my business. Where did Indy come from?
I think originally, like, my idea behind it was, it's kind of similar to your idea for the business, but like, you know, there's been artists to come out of Indiana, obviously, like plenty of people, but like when it comes to like
Mark Battles.
Freddie Gibbs.
Well,
Yeah.
he's Gary.
yeah, that's right, actually, yeah.
Freddie's Gary.
But well,
I'm talking straight Indianapolis.
Okay, you talking about Nap
Indy.
Town.
When I say Indy, yeah, I'm talking Naptown, Indianapolis.
well, shit, we all over the place though. Shit.
I mean, we are, but like, yeah, like Mark Battles, and I think there's a couple more that you would consider like, super popular.
Yeah.
So keep going with what you're saying.
Did your phone just go off, dude?
Yeah, I know. It's my medicine. I'm epileptic. I fucking forget.
Yeah, I don't know, like there's definitely been people to come out of here for music, but it's still not, like Indiana still isn't viewed as like a city where a lot of people come out of, and not even just that, but like I would say like the newer like wave of music, or like, you know, even like younger artists, like there's not really a bunch of names like you can point to and be like, oh yeah, like he's from Indy, like
He's
that's
from
our guy, you know?
Indianapolis. Yeah, no, not all. But other cities can say, bro, that's our guy.
Exactly.
You know, New York,
Yeah.
Chicago, Atlanta,
Dude, all over
Cali, every
everybody,
Cali,
yeah, everybody,
every Cali fucking city.
Bro, every place like has that guy who is
Really?
the best. Like you go to the South, you know,
yeah,
you know what I
Atlanta.
mean? It's but
R.I.P.
it's-
Young Dolph.
And it's not to
Yeah.
say like anyone's
Memphis.
is number one, because it's all like all the art. You know what I mean? That's what it is. Like I've never. It's hard for me to pick a favorite just because it's like, so I'm appreciative. You mentioned that you had a lot of inspirations, and I think that's a good thing that we get in the Midwest is you know, we're in the center of it all.
Yeah, exactly. And like on top of that, like I don't know, there's a lot of cool like artists from Indy right now that like I listen to even, and it's like I don't know, that was kind of my thought process originally when I came up with the name. And it's kind of funny because I've been thinking about like, oh, like maybe I should take the kid out. I'm 20 now, you know, but like we'll get to that at some point, bro.
I mean, you know what? I mean, I like IndyKid. Like, I mean, it's like originated from
Yeah, I
Indy.
like
You know
it.
what I mean? Like, I think you could keep. I'm an IndyKid, man. Like,
Yeah.
that's something no one's gonna be able to change.
Exactly. Yeah, that's a good way of putting it too.
I wanted to say too. It kind of reminds me. I don't know if you ever watched old school like WWE 1, 2, 3 Kid.
Oh,
or whatever.
yeah,
He was
yeah.
like the kind of underdog dude, and then like he ended up being a big name, like pinning Razor Ramon. It's just. That's kind of.
I'm a big wrestling dude.
Oh,
I'm not
are you?
gonna lie.
Okay.
Yeah, dude.
We might have to get into that later. Then, like,
We can talk some wrestling, bro. That's a rare thing, honestly.
right? Yeah. I feel like we bring it up every once in a while on here, though, or maybe
Yeah.
I do. Might be my fault.
Yeah, I remember bringing up. I think it was DX maybe one time. I can't remember.
So I was gonna ask you another question.
Bad ski.
Where's it at? Okay. Your recording process, kind of, and I have some kind of sub questions to that. Maybe I'll ask you when they come up, but vaguely, broadly, kind of break down how you like to go about it. Vibe, people, all of that.
Bet. So when I first started recording, it was actually with, I have to make sure to tell this story on here, but my buddy Javen, we actually fought each other in high school because I was talking shit to his girlfriend, and like, you know, he
shit.
stood up for her, right? So like we
yeah.
got in a scrap, but we had mutual friends, and like I always kind of knew, like I never really disliked him, you know, because I always could tell he's like me. So like it sucked when it happened too, but like we eventually ended up linking up, you know, with some of our other friends, and we eventually started talking about music, and you know, he told me he had FL, and he told me he had a mic and all that. So whenever I started going over there and like started,
So you first started getting on it with someone else, and it was FL Studio.
yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
on.
That's
and
crazy.
I'm still using
Who
FL
was-
Studio
who
right
was-
now, actually. Yeah.
Someone who you were scrapping with, you know what I mean? So you made a positive out of a negative
Exactly.
situation.
I mean, I've had a lot of homies where we've gotten into some fights later on. I wouldn't say was that starting out. That's kind of like what started the friendship.
Well, it was.
He's like, you know what? I fuck with you.
Yeah. Well, it was. We fought in freshman year of high school, right?
Yeah.
And then I think it was like junior year, because we went out for we all went out to B-dubs for the Conor Habib fight, right? And it was
Shout out.
bro, it was like 15 of us, dude, and we were all sitting in a
Shout
line of
out.
chairs outside. That shit was fire. But I sat next to him, ironically enough, and like we just started talking. And yeah, dude, like,
Good that didn't turn into a fight. Sometimes when fights get heated, you guys were rooting for the same
When
guy.
a fight's there, you might, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? The fight's being taken care of. You're going to keep your fight aside and it might get
Oh my gosh,
handled.
Khabib jumped the cage.
Yeah.
Everybody, now they're all fighting.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? It's
And you
just,
look over and you're like, you know what? We're cool.
bro just looks at me. Yeah, that reminds me of when I socked you in the fucking nose.
you did.
Yeah, you did.
That looks similar to my punch.
So you guys squashed the beef, the smish, and started using FL Studio. And you said you still use FL Studio today. Do you use? Because to me, FL Studio is better for MIDI and making music
Beats? Yeah, I've
production.
noticed
For me, because I'm a Pro Tools guy. Do you use a subscription-based FL, or you use just the regular free one?
Well, the funny thing is, I don't know which version he has of FL. I mean, I'm pretty sure it's the full version, right?
Yeah.
But he stopped recording because he had a kid. And he basically told me, like, I want you to have, my
That's
account
nice of him.
because
Cool.
he wants it to be in use. 'Cause
I actually know.
that's
I actually know
nice.
someone who did that to someone else, bro.
I mean, that's a
fucking
bit,
dope.
yeah, that shit's not fucking cheap, bro. So, like, that was nice of him.
Dope.
Because I even told him, I was like, I can buy it, He was like, nah, like, if I'm not recording, I want it to be in
So
use.
he just like basically gave you the codes and shit. So then you just use it on your like laptop type deal.
Yep, every
How
single...
long ago was this?
So, when you quit music or when I
Or
started?
just that situation, this scenario right here.
So we started recording about 3 years ago, and then
Damn.
I think it was about like a year and a half ago when he had to stop. And we made like a bunch of songs together. Like it was usually like 1 or 2 days a week back then. But
I kind of feel like I remember because 3 years ago would have been about 2020, 2019, right? Because I was rocking with Dilemmas. Shout out D. I was going to his shows at at the Emerson.
Oh yeah.
And I remember you dropping music with someone a lot.
yeah, that was probably him. Yep.
What was his name at the time? Like the rap name?
J Cubicle.
Yeah. I remember because I always saw the cube. Okay.
Yeah.
So is he done, or is he thinking about maybe coming back? Because having a kid's hard. I mean, I have a
Yeah.
kid. I had to realize I couldn't just jump right into music. That's why I took college. I waited fucking 5 years. You know what I mean? And I did what I did. So like,
Waited till you were ready.
I had to get ready. Yeah.
Do you have any children?
Oh no.
Thankfully, you just know the
Thankfully.
struggle. Same.
Yeah.
Same for me.
Well, yeah, because when you told me, like, obviously, like, you never want to hear that, like, you're not going to be recording with your homie anymore. But, like, I was immediately like, yeah, dude, like, that's because he has his priorities straight at the end of the day. Like,
A kid is more important.
100%, dude.
And so this is the time whenever you started finding your frequency, like you were talking about, like you said, just like about a year and a half ago, you start really getting in tune with that shit. Like, so.
Yeah, well, because whenever I'd record with him, too, like, his main thing was producing because, like, that's how he started off, right? He's
Right.
actually started off trying to make beats, too, I'm pretty sure.
Yep. That's what people don't understand. Music production, audio engineering, recording, tracking. When people say tracking, that's recording vocals. Mm-hmm. I'm an audio engineer and a music producer, but I'll admit right now, my music production is not as good as my audio engineer. That's why I do the audio for here. What would you say?
I mean, all I can say about, like, mixing and producing all of that shit is hard, dude.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like, especially, like, if you really look at, like, newer style of music, like, the more, like, wavy, like, melodic stuff, like, I fuck with that stuff, don't get me wrong, but the production level on those songs, like, does so much for those.
That's the whole
Like,
reason why.
Exactly.
And it's because of the plugins they use. It's because of the harmonics of the instruments. So like instead of just having one piano and the guitar and the drums, you're having like 8 fucking different synth sounds, and you're having like a bunch of different added little. It's called ear candy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So.
Adding those little chimes,
Offbeat
drums,
stuff,
snaps,
yeah.
all that stuff.
Exactly. Yeah. Literally. So when you said about 3 years ago, you got he gifted you kind of like, because you guys were so tight. That was 3 years ago. What do you think since then has happened with that FL account and with what you've done with yourself?
Yeah, so basically, like, I mean, obviously with us not recording anymore, I pretty much had to start learning that production shit on my own a little bit, you know? And
Yep.
like I said, that shit is pretty hard to, you know, learn and especially to master. I've definitely not mastered that
No,
shit yet
mastering.
at
People
all.
don't understand that mastering is completely different from mixing.
Yeah.
So when you say producing, you're talking about recording yourself.
Yeah, like
So
most of
producing is making the beats. Producing is making producing is making the beats. Mixing and audio engineering, that's the vocal side. And that side's tough. It is, because I can mix a song really, really well. Our song, for example, our song "Wetter Weather" was great, bro.
Right.
But I paid for that master. I used a different website.
yeah.
That's why it slaps, bro.
Right.
Because when I can mix a song, that's what I went to. That's what I got a degree for, is mixing. I
Yeah.
can mix super well, but mastering is a whole. You don't master the way you mix. You have different equipment. It is different. It is
Yeah.
different. It's hard.
100%, dude. And I'm gonna be honest, like, you know, mainly like with most of my songs now, right? Like I usually do a good vocal mix for it, at least the best I can, right? And then sometimes I'll add a few other little things like on the master track and stuff like that. But a lot of my songs really don't have much of that like added, you know, sauce,
Yeah.
if you will, right?
So you'll have your session, you'll have your tracks, and then you'll have your master track at the end.
Yeah.
And you make sure obviously the levels are right and stuff.
Yeah.
So when you say you add on the master track, what do you add? Maybe like a certain like equalizer or?
Yeah, one of the effects I've been using recently is I think it's the soft clipper for the master. Mainly just like it depends on like every beat's different, right? That like you'll
Sounds
get
like
or
a
download.
compression.
Yeah, basically. Yeah,
Make
it's a
sure it
little
doesn't
bit.
clip.
Because it has that effect has like it's just two knobs, right? And it's like the threshold and the like post gain.
That's all you
And
need.
Exactly. You just turn that threshold down a little bit.
The
and it makes a
threshold is
world of difference,
basically
dude.
the threshold is like that level you set for the compression to hit, and then once there is compression, you do have to add gain, because think about it, you just took away some volume.
Right.
You add that gain for it to match that. But when
Yeah.
you mix a song, you got to leave headroom, and usually you leave about -6 decibels to 10, -6 to -10 decibels for a master. So when you send your mix, you're making it quieter for a reason. I send it to Vince quieter for a reason, because when I send it to you, what you uploaded to Anchor,
Yeah.
like strictly the file.
No, I have to add it in Audacity, and then
But in
add,
Audacity, you can add stuff too.
yeah, so I have to add gain to it.
You
just
add
to make
gain
sure.
because it's quieter. You have to make sure the volume is right for what you're listening to.
I listen to it on those, and then the headphones, and then just multiple things just to make sure the volume, like high and medium and low, sound correct.
Exactly.
Every type of test,
Each
bro.
one you have
Yeah.
to.
Because like
have
sometimes
right.
I'll fuck up and I'll make the high too high, and it's like, God, it hurt your ears. You know what I mean?
So when you worked with what was his name again?
Javen.
I'm so sorry, Javen.
Yeah.
I actually kind of like that name, Javen.
It is unique.
Javen
different.
is like a javelin.
Did you say it's unique? What'd you
Yeah.
say?
Unique.
This is
I thought
kind of
you, I
unique,
thought you
yeah.
said it's Javen. I thought you like
Uni-
combined it.
Only Javen I know. Shit.
Yeah, Javen.
With your guys' workflow, like, do you prefer by yourself? Because you had to learn by yourself. Did you prefer having someone with you, workflow wise?
I think honestly for me it depends on the type of vibe I'm going for that night, because I mean some of the songs like I'll even play today, like I make a lot of sad shit, I'm not gonna lie, right? But like if I'm trying to do something more upbeat, or even just like I don't know, especially if I'm doing like a more like rappy song, like Javen, like his biggest inspiration is Eminem, right? So like
Heard.
that was his style. Like he would just go for those fast bars and like that really fast flow and tempo, right? So like if I was trying to do more like rappy stuff and trying to spit more, like he'd be the person I'd want to be around. But like it just like, especially if I'm in like one of those like I'm gonna make some dark shit tonight type of vibes, like I like to be alone for that sometimes. But like I do have like mainly my roommate, like he's in there pretty much
Does
every
he
time I
hop
record.
on like the laptop and like basically track, like help you record?
He doesn't. Nah. He literally like he has his chair. He just
Just
sits
the
there and
vibe.
vibes.
I
Yeah.
mean,
Just hangs
sometimes
out,
you,
yeah.
sometimes you need Like, cause think about like editing, bro. Like, if I come over here and we edit together, like it's better that way.
Yeah.
When we write, it's better that
or
way.
just freestyle and shit.
Yeah,
like,
freestyle. Yeah.
And he's trying to get involved, so for him, like just soaking it in and like seeing me do what I do, like
That's
it
the
helps
best way
him
to
a lot.
learn.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's cool. He's even on a song I'll play today too. He did a little verse on there. He's
Right on.
trying to get involved.
Hell yeah.
I got faith, bro.
So with you said it was pretty much you like learning the FL, and do you feel like even all the terminology, just looking like it was just you exploring that's where it, or did you have to kind of, was it like a kind of get some YouTube in or something? Because myself, like I have a hard time like. I don't know. Yeah, I definitely would have to play hands on a lot, but
Well, yeah, because I mean, I'm ADD as a mofo, right? So like, whenever I like did, because it took me a minute, because there was a span of time after he had stopped recording, right, where I had recorded every so often, but it wasn't as frequent. Like I started to kind of dip out a little bit, but once I started like getting back in and finding my groove again, like
Muscle memory.
yeah, and it also like with the mixing stuff, it just started off as like
When you
trying
mix,
shit.
yeah, when you mix and you try shit, you realize why. You use the equalizer, so you use a one band equalizer, and it takes out the high frequencies. You realize, oh, now your voice is all muffled.
Yep.
And then now you go back and it's normal. I use a high, and now it sounds like a telephone.
Yeah, it's all about like, I mean, whenever I did start like doing the mixing stuff, like I was just trying out different stuff and like trying to learn the effects just hands on, but like definitely got a couple YouTube videos in here and there as well. But it is like, I don't know, like in a lot of situations, like if like, let's say like you're trying to explain to me some of the stuff you know about audio engineering, right?
Yeah.
And you're just sitting here face to face, like explaining it. Half the time, like I'm going to be trying to listen the full time, right? And I will be, but like sometimes my head trails off, right? And I'll forget certain
I'm the
stuff.
same way.
or-
And that's why
sucks,
that's why I spent 17 grand and spent a whole year doing that.
That's
And
commitment, bro.
I was writing notes. I have 3 full notebooks of notes, and I would tell the teacher, "Give me the PowerPoint before we start."
See,
because
guidance is good.
I can't, yeah, and I need a
Guidance is
person.
good.
I can, and you,
so
I,
it's
I could
impressive.
teach
Yeah,
you.
it's props to be able to explore and look into it.
And you kind of taught yourself, bro.
Kinda
YouTube
just kinda
videos
face
are
it,
one thing, but
you know?
you did teach yourself, bro.
Yeah, and I mean, without a doubt, like I'm still learning every day, right?
Oh,
and
yeah.
like
Hell
I
yeah.
would say every single song I have right now, like whether it's my own nitpicks or like, I mean, you do this shit, so you'll hear certain stuff, right? I'm still not polished yet, right? But it's all about like, I mean, if I was to look back to like songs even 6 months ago,
Yeah.
I can't listen to them, bruh, because it's like the difference in the mix, like
You
even for now,
realized.
is really fucking like you can tell
Yeah.
immediately.
I mean, bro, I'll even admit, every now, once again, I'll hear a song like that's like, you know what I mean? I'm talking like completely like, 100% labeled type shit. You know what I mean? Like, I'll just throw out a name. Like, I'm not using him as a reference, like Future, like that level.
Oh yeah.
You'll hear something wrong with it.
Yeah.
One little thing. Because think about it. They're doing it at a huge level. They might have forgot and missed that one fucking part. You know what I mean? But with you mentioning how it's hard to go back and listen to your old shit, I definitely hear that too, because it's like, I mean, bro, you know more now. So it's like, man, it's like you're going back and you're putting yourself through that like feeling like, fuck.
Well, tell me if you agree with this too. Like, because I genuinely feel like after, the amount of time I've spent mixing and like doing stuff with my own songs already, it's like that shit fucks up your brain, dude.
There is
like
no
if you sit there
perfect.
for hours and do it,
There
bro,
is no
like you're
perfect,
just
bro.
gonna start hearing shit.
Yeah, no.
Because I remember like at least a few times I'd be like, I'd point out this one part of a song I just didn't like because it sounded off or whatever. And my friend's like, I don't hear anything.
They're like, bro, I
shit
think it's
sounds
fine.
okay, yeah.
And then it's like, here, I won't point it out. Tell me what you think.
Yeah.
And then maybe they see a different part, and you're like, fuck. It's like, all right, here we go.
Yeah, that sucks even more.
As a mixer, now as a mixing engineer, and that's why there's mastering engineer, bro. Mixing engineer, there is no perfect. There isn't. It is as good. It's like 99%, and that 1% is a mastering engineer, and
Yeah.
that's why they're there. You know what I mean? They master it.
Polish
They
everything.
literally master it.
Yeah, and honestly, like for someone like me or like, you know, my friend that was supposed to be here too, like anyone that makes music that is still like at the beginner stage, I guess, right? Like it's important, like if you're trying to do mixing and like you're trying your best and you do what you do to your songs, right? Like it's important to just, you know, give yourself a break and just release it anyways, like at least most of it, right? Because I mean, if you go back to any artist, dude, you listen to their first few songs, you'll hear shit in there, dude. And it's not their fault, bro. It's just part of the process. Right. So it's like,
and as well with that, like there's like rappers who are like straight up in a jail cell rapping over the phone, and that shit's still hard.
Bro,
you know
there
what I
are
mean?
rappers out there that suck balls. Let's just be fucking serious, bro. Some fucking songs out there,
like, and they're just saying like, you know,
true,
like,
no, it's only because they're on the team, they're on the fucking, you know, they're on the wave, bro. And that's why I'm making this website, and I'll say it again, Independent 47. It is for people like us, bro, me and you, bro. You
100%.
know, and I love that you're IndyKid. Like, dog, we are making stuff, and people out there like it.
Yeah.
And that's the world. That is the world. And I will always say that. People need a platform to find that. But they're overran by, okay, great. Yeah, that 32-track album has 3 good songs. But fucking 12 of them sound like you're fucking stupid, bro.
Right.
And I'm not being disrespectful. But you have a higher platform, and you get to squash the people who just want to express themselves.
Right.
And the people will find that. They want to find that. That's why people are getting sick and tired of hearing the same fucking album over and over. And I'll bring Future up again. I love Future. But, bro, Dylan hates this new fucking album. And I know why. Because it's the same.